Welcome. This video shows how to set grid visibility and schematic background color, plus several schematic editing techniques. First, let's close the main dock window to make room. To change the schematic background color, go to File, Application Settings to bring up the Edit Qucs Properties window. Click on the box to the right of Document Background Color to bring up the Select Color window. Click on the white color and then OK to close the Select Color pop-up window. Back in the Edit Qucs Properties window, click OK to close the window and return to the schematic. The background color has changed from the default yellow color to white. To adjust the grid spacing and visibility, go to File, Document Settings to get the Edit File Properties window. Click on the middle Grid tab and uncheck the box for Show Grid. This is also where we can change the grid spacing. Click OK to finish and return to the schematic. The grid dots on the schematic disappeared. Notice how the schematic has current meters, where each meter is labeled for the circuit element component current that the meter measures: inductor, capacitor, or resistor current. Looking at the graph's properties, we can see those same three meter currents available to be plotted. Next, let's do some schematic editing, rotating and flipping two current meters. We want all three current meters to point downward, with the meter on the right-hand side like the inductor current meter closest to the left side of the schematic. Starting with the middle current meter, right-click on it and select Rotate for a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. Next, with the meter still selected, use the keys Ctrl-R for the second 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. Now we have the meter direction arrow oriented correctly, but the meter legs are disconnected from the rest of the schematic. Holding down the left mouse button, drag the meter to the right towards the wires. We can see from the red circles that our meter is still disconnected. The red circles on the connection points indicate no connection. To connect the meter correctly, right-click on the meter and select Set on Grid. Now the red circles disappear and the meter is connected the way we want it. To change the rightmost current meter for the resistor current, let's flip the right-hand meter. Right-click on the meter and select Mirror About Y-axis. This orients the meter graphic, but not the arrow. Right-click again on the meter and select Mirror About X-axis. This third and final meter is now correctly placed and oriented, and we didn't break the schematic wire connections to reorient the meter. Let's switch gears to a distributed circuit element simulation. Here we have a transmission line element in Qucs being driven by a voltage pulse source.
Question: how can we move a portion of a schematic without disconnecting it?
First, holding down the left mouse button, drag the transient simulation block out of the way. Second, holding down the left mouse button, Drag a box around the output resistor and the Vout label and the schematic wire down to and including the ground. That is, lasso the shunt output leg of the schematic. We see it all highlighted in gray color. Holding down left mouse button, move the selected section of the schematic to the right, stretching the top wire, which is still connected to the series transmission line element. Click left mouse button in the schematic to clear the selection gray highlight. Next, we want to add a circuit element without disconnecting schematic wires. Select the transmission line element. Right-click to copy the transmission line element to the clipboard. Ctrl-V to paste the transmission line circuit element into the schematic. The transmission line circuit element outline appears at the cursor. Move the cursor and click left mouse button to place this second transmission line element right on top of the wire between the existing line 1 transmission line instance and Vout. Click Escape to clear the paste mode. Notice how the reference designator got incremented automatically to line 2. This new transmission line element appears to be correctly connected in the schematic. Let's simulate to make sure the second transmission line is wired correctly. Before simulating, notice the delay on Vout in the graph, in red, relative to the dashed V1 input pulse. Run the simulation. Sure enough, the simulation now shows double the delay from the input signal V1 to the output signal Vout.
Question: if we can move and copy parts of a schematic in a quick simulation, can we copy the whole schematic and run a second schematic version with the same simulation?
Yes, perhaps we want to investigate some variations side by side in simulation. Let's try this. Move the transient simulation block to make room. This single simulation command will simulate both circuits on one schematic page. Lasso the entire transmission line schematic. Ctrl-C to copy, Ctrl-V to paste, and click to the right of the simulation block to place the copied circuit back onto the schematic. Click Escape to clear the paste mode. Notice how the circuit element reference designators automatically increment. VIN1 versus VIN, R3 versus R2, line 2 versus line 1, and RL1 versus RL. But the schematic nodes and output signal name, Vout, do not change. So let's change the new Vout to Vout2. Right-click on the new Vout to bring up the Edit Properties window. Change the name to Vout2 and click OK to close and return to the schematic. Next, in the new transmission line schematic, change the length of the transmission line from 1 to 2. Right-click on the circuit element and select Edit Properties. Select L and change the value to 2. Click OK to apply and return to the schematic.
Both schematics will be simulated by the same transient simulation command.
Simulate the circuit. Let's edit the time domain plot to add the Vout2 signal from the second schematic. This extra delay from the second schematic is what we expect. Finally, let's place some text on this schematic. To start this, bring back the main dock window. Go to View and select Dock Window. Scroll up to make some room. On the left side of Main Dock, choose the Components tab. From the top pull-down, select Paintings. Within Paintings, select Text. Click on the schematic to place the text, and the Edit Properties window appears. Type in some text. Give the text a color. Give the text a size. And click OK to go back to the schematic.
Thank you for watching and learning with us.